Cowboys fans, gather around, because what unfolded this Sunday was not just another regular season storyline. It was a moment that will sit in the vault of Dallas Cowboys history forever. While the scoreboard told one story, something much bigger, much deeper, and much more significant was happening beneath the surface. And if you are a believer in legacy, resilience, and heart, then this moment was built for you. Dak Prescott, the quarterback so many have doubted, questioned, debated, criticized, and dissected for nearly a decade, stepped onto the turf at AT&T Stadium with the weight of a franchise on his shoulders. A franchise with a lineage of giants: Meredith, Staubach, Aikman, Romo, men who shaped generations of Cowboys football, men who carried America's team through triumphs, heartbreaks, and eras that defined the sport. And on this day, Dak Prescott didn't just join them, he passed them. Midway through the third quarter against the Philadelphia Eagles, down 21-7 in a game loaded with pressure and expectation, he dropped back, scanned the field, and fired a crisp 9-yard strike to George Pickens. A simple completion on paper, but in reality, that throw shattered the most sacred individual record a Cowboys quarterback can break. With that pass, Dak Prescott officially became the all-time leading passer in the history of the Dallas Cowboys. Think about the magnitude of that. The most scrutinized position in professional sports, the biggest brand in football, 10 seasons of carrying not just a team, but a national spotlight. Year after year, through injuries, roster changes, coaching reshuffles, and non-stop media noise, Dak delivered. Quietly, consistently, relentlessly. And on this day, he surpassed Tony Romo, a 4-time Pro Bowler and beloved icon, to reach 34,192 career passing yards. What's even more remarkable is the context. Entering the game, he already held 234 career touchdown passes, over 34,000 yards, and a completion percentage north of 67% across nearly a decade. Now he stands alone atop the franchise record books, rewriting the story that so many once claimed he could never touch. This was not just a record. This was the turning of a page, a passing of the torch. The full circle moment that began back in 2016 when a rookie 4th-round pick took over for an injured Romo and shocked the world by never giving the job back. And now, almost 10 years later, he is the standard, the benchmark for all future Cowboys quarterbacks. But let's talk about what made this even more powerful. Dallas entered this game fighting for their postseason lives. The Eagles came in 8-2, the defending champions, riding a 4-game winning streak. And early on, they looked ready to take full control of the NFC East. Yet while the Cowboys trailed, the fire never dimmed. That record-breaking play was more than a moment. It was a spark, a declaration that this team was not done yet. And if you look at the full picture, Dak has been nothing short of elite leading up to this moment. Last week against the Raiders, 4 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, nearly 270 yards on 25 of 33 passing. He has been playing some of the best football of his entire career, and the league has taken notice. Analysts across the country, including critics who once dismissed him, have had to acknowledge the undeniable truth. Dak Prescott is playing championship-caliber football. And that matters right now, because the Cowboys still have everything to fight for: a playoff berth, divisional relevance, and a team that has been reforged mid-season with defensive upgrades, offensive firepower, and a sense of urgency that has been missing in years past. Let's add one more layer. According to league tracking, Prescott entered Week 22 ranked top 5 in QBR, top 5 in passing touchdowns, and top 3 in completion percentage under pressure. Combine that with George Pickens stepping into true WR2 form, CeeDee Lamb playing like a top 3 receiver in football, and a defense getting healthy at the right time, and you begin to see why this moment feels like the start of something bigger. This milestone was not a consolation prize. It was not a distraction from the scoreboard. It was a testament to what Dak Prescott has done, what he has built, and what still lies ahead. Records don't win championships, but they reveal something important: longevity, consistency, leadership, and the ability to carry a franchise through every storm. The Super Bowl remains the goal. It always has. But to reach that mountaintop, a team needs a quarterback who can carry that dream. And whether you love him or doubt him, whether the debates drive you crazy or fuel your fire, Dak Prescott has proven, statistically, historically, and emotionally, that he is that quarterback. So Cowboys Nation, I want to hear from you. What does this record mean to you? Where does Dak Prescott now stand among the all-time greats to wear the star? And most importantly, do you believe this moment is the turning point for the Cowboys season? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you want more passionate, detailed, daily coverage of America's team, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and keep riding with us on Dallas Game Day, because the story of this season is far from finished, and the Dallas Cowboys are far from done.